Hi, welcome to Antique Quest, and today we're doing a Harris & Sons auction walkthrough. So it's for our spring arts and antiques auction. Sorry we didn't get one out on the last sale, our sportsman auction. We've just been really pushed for time lately. A lot of calls coming in, a lot of great items coming up in a follow-up auction after this one, and even more after that. So we're just trying to keep up and get these things online fast enough for you. But we've got some wonderful things in this sale. Some fantastic artwork. We've got a piece by Riopel, Georges Braque, all sorts of great stuff. We're going to show you all that in a minute. This is just some of the things here that I have on the table that I'd like to show you while we're sitting here, and then we'll take off and see the rest of it. A beautiful microscope here with a lot of various settings. It comes in its original wooden finger joint box with the lock and key for the box. Just a really nice piece of scientific equipment, great for a display. We have this outstanding Kralik art glass vase, and it is a super dark amethyst colored glass with sort of a glass threading technique all over it. It was once thought to be a Rinskopf piece, but the research has shown that this is more a color and this shape is more of a Kralik piece. So just a fantastic and a big piece and in excellent condition there. Wonderful piece of art glass. We have this fabulous Pioneer sword with its original scabbard, which is hard to come by. But this was sort of like an early Army engineer's sword, if you will, the Pioneers. They were to go ahead and to make forts and anything like that that the Army following behind was going to need. So it's in superb condition, brass hilt and handle, and the sharpest razorback saw edge that I've ever seen. I can't believe actually how sharp that is to touch. So great sword, that's in our sale. And this piece maybe you can help me with. It's German pewter. As far as I can tell, it's a centerpiece. Exactly for what would have went in there, I'm not sure. You have the man with his shield here. It is an empty vessel of some sort. It would be difficult to pour, I would think. And perhaps it even hung on these chains for one reason or another. I'm not 100% sure. Go online, see the photographs. There is writing on the front here, which unfortunately I won't be able to read for you. But there's also, what I find interesting, these great eagle heads. But it's a crown and heraldic shields here. There is an old touch mark here just under the lip, which we'll have a close-up of. But what's really neat here is it's a scene, an early scene, mind you, of mining. So this guy here is lowering another guy down on a rope into the cave, and you have a guy with a chisel and a hammer down here. So it's some sort of mining. But honestly, never seen another one. Not 100% sure what that's for. Good early touch mark on there. Just a neat piece to go on our catalog there and have a better look at. Lots of photographs on there for you. One thing I do want to say, if anyone is having any trouble at all registering for our auctions, and I hear it quite often, so they have trouble with the high bid agreeing that you have the right address for your credit card, that sort of thing. If you go to my website now, which is www.harrisandsonsauctions.com, we have a phone number there, and it's a 1-800 number basically. So it's a toll-free number, and you call, it takes you to high bid, and the lady will do it all for you. She's going to ask you a couple of questions, and it's easy as pie. We just had a customer go through that. He said it couldn't have been more simple. And I know some people have been really aggravated trying to get them to accept their cards. I don't know if it's a Canadian US thing that's causing the problem and it's our postal codes instead of zip codes. I'm really not 100% sure. It seems to happen to some people, and other people it doesn't do it to. And I've even had people who couldn't get on, and then the next time they tried it went through easy. So if you're having any trouble at all, save yourself the grief. Just call the number and let them do it for you, and you'll be signed up permanently. Okay, let's have a look at some of these other things. just going to narrate as I walk around. This is some of the artwork in the sale. This is a nice oil on canvas, I believe, if I recall correctly. Or is it on board? No, that one's it's on canvas. Very dark. Seems like the varnish is darkened quite a bit. Can't see a name on that. Quite a large, really well done watercolor. And we have a nice seascape here on a wooden panel by Vinton Lloyd. He was an artist here in the valley. And I'll just stand back and use that chair as a reference for size. To give you an idea, most of these are quite large. Now here we have a signed, pencil signed and numbered Riopel lithograph, colored lithograph. I'll just get closer to the edition. 26 out of 75. His pencil signature there. A nice piece that would suit a new frame for sure. A new frame and matting would do wonders for it. It was originally sold through Levis Auctions out west as an abstract composition. So that's its provenance. Now this is a very large A.J. Cason copy, but it's actually painted by an artist. For the McMichael gallery put these out. It's not really showing light wise. Unfortunately, on automatic cameras adjust the light and dark according to the white mats. But it's beautifully framed, really nice. If you want a Cason without spending the money, that's as close as you're going to get. It's not a print, it's an actual painting, so it's very nice. And we have down here a little one by an American artist, Finney, listed American artist. And we have this large, what looks like a California scene to me. And names and everything are on the website with more detailed photographs. Very well painted again. We have this fireplace toolkit. We have these absolutely fabulous early andirons or fire dogs, however you want to call them. Very early pair, brass, really nice. And behind it is the Quebec pillar. Now it has a lot of old original paint on it. I think it has some that's a little touched up, but it's just a wonderful column. If you had something you wanted to display, you can ignore my heater on there. It was pretty cold out here the other day. But this work here, let me move the lights so you can see it better. There's a window back there causing us problems, but it's really well done. And research sort of points to a 17th century, which is hard to fathom, but it is all silver wire. I've tried to take as many detailed photographs as I can online to show you this. Some people's thought was Oriental, and it certainly has that look, but it also has a look of the Chanticleer and his wife, which is an older tale, and the work seems to point to France. Well, the background material, whatever it is, as you can see here, is absolutely disintegrating, but the birds, which are built right up, are in superb condition. They've lost some color. You know, he had a lot more red there and green on his back, but all in all, just a really interesting piece, but one for you that know embroidered or material work more than I do. And again, ran out of the battery, just put a new one in. We're just going to show you the chair reference again so you can get an idea of size of those works there. Let's go along the table now. That table is not in the sale, that's mine. We have a beautiful pull toy horse here. Nice early one, and it actually has a set of runners, so you can put it on the runners and make it a rocking horse, or you can use it with the pull toy with the old metal wheels there. You know, he's had a little bit of wear through the old material there. Great old saddle. And his ears are a bit tattered, but all in all, just a really, really neat piece. It's got wooden hoofs and some nice old paint on the runners. Let me see if I can show you over here a little better. See some stenciling remaining, not much. Nice old red there. And wouldn't doubt that's an actual horsehair tail. Great little saddle. And we'll just take a look up along here. There's a nice set of weights here. Nice early set of weights. Some early trivets. Again, these are not newer reproductions. This has a lighthouse on it, which is kind of interesting. But look at these great feet. Great claw and ball like feet. We've got a lot here, which includes a yellowware bowl and an interesting picture here with a warring elephant scene. Kind of interesting. Now we have a wonderful big Nova Scotia redware milk pan with the glazed interior, and I'm happy to report it's quite a good size one, and I cannot find a crack in it. And I'm actually going to say there's no chips in it either, other than this glaze worn off down here, which is expected, and in a couple spots along there. All in all, just a superb milk pan there. We have the Dalton, big Dalton jug, ale jug with the dogs on it. Nice little document box of sorts, a little mother of pearl inlay, a little bit of dust on there, some veneer issues here and there. Trying to do everything one-handed here. Interior tray is gone. Nice set of 3 graduated ironstone jugs with the British Registry mark there. I forget the date offhand, but it's online as well. Nice Halifax small eared open crock, and some really nice glassware, and I'm probably going to stand right in the light here. This one is actually artist signed. Let's see if I can hold it up here. It's an absolutely gorgeous piece of glass. I cannot make out the signature. It's so fine. Let me see if I can get it to focus here. If I had 3 hands, this would work great. But we just can't read it. We've got the Italian Seguso glass vase. And this is absolutely gorgeous. This is such a well-made thing, and it just isn't going to show up at all online. But it's we're calling it an ale jug. It's a beautiful green glass jug with this WD etched, deeply etched too, I might add, around this floral sort of wreath. Gorgeous piece of glass. Some vintage cameras. This little Kodak one, I must admit I haven't seen that one before. It's a very unusual, it looks like your regular box camera that you see all the time, but when you open it up, it's got a nice wood front. Little movie camera, some Majolica lot there. Interesting benzene torch. When I pick things up, the focus gets worse, so I better just look through here. There's the original box for the microscope I showed you earlier, and it does have some, at least 1 or 2 extra lenses in here. There's more up here, which doesn't want to come out right now. Oh, look at that. 3 more lenses there. So some extras, and like I said, it still has the key on top. Oh, I am no good at one-handed work anymore, I tell you, especially my left hand, because my right hand's holding this. Okay. Great little scale here, little apothecary scale. It does have one of these milk glass plates is broken, but you could easily glue that back together. We've got a couple of nice canes. This one has a really, let's see if we can get this to focus here. Really unusual ivory handles. So like all things ivory, it only ships within the country. And this cane, which has a silver collar, antler handle and a nice sort of shillelagh looking wood that just went out of focus too. The nice thing about this is we have a tintype of the original owner holding the cane and dated in the 1890s. So really nice to have the provenance of a tintype photo with the cane. A magnificent weight set that goes right down to these little tiny ones here. A nice early coach lantern. Hard to find those anymore. A very interesting mortar and pestle. Good size stone. Might be Native American, might be Mexican. We don't really know for sure. Nice piece there. Some early pewter tankards, German tankards, and probably one of the better dioramas I've seen in quite a while, which unfortunately has a few cluster flies have made home on it. Just really well done. I know you're getting glare from the windows and lights, but it's a really well done diorama. It's got these great little, see if I can focus on them, great little seashells inset along the bottom edge here, which I thought was a really nice little touch. But lots of sails, lots of rigging. Beautiful early one, great piece there. The best picnic basket we've ever had, bar none. This one, I'm going to try and change hands here. I love this. Can you see that? It's actually a lock in the strap. So a key lock. We didn't get the key, of course. That would have been too good. But it's got a nice little maker's label there. And it's absolutely excellent condition. It's all tin lined, and it has two of these containers for either end that just fit in a little slot there. But condition wise, it's absolutely gorgeous. And quite a large Nova Scotia scene oil painting here. I think we have this one listed as pickup only because it is so big. But E. Feindel, perhaps? Not really sure. Alright, let's get over here. We have this circus poster here, which is highly unbelievable that anyone, especially a lady in a convertible old car, could do a somersault in that direction, but I think it's a pretty neat piece. Just a fun piece there. Nice little box here with the key. Little mirror inside. Nice little inlay on that box. I'll go down here while I'm on my knees. A couple of giant plug irons. A nice hide covered box here. The old wallpaper interior. Really old catch. These always seem to swell and then they don't quite close the way they used to. Nice old swing catch. Really big. I'll try not to get it to ding because that would be loud. Bronze bell. Nice green inside with cherubs on the outside. Quite a heavy one there. Okay, a nice little Chinese teapot in the basket. Some small brass decorative pieces here. Interesting, not really sure what these are off. They look like they were attached to something down here and broken off, but early they've got lots of good wear on them and it's kind of interesting. A nice little Betty style lamp here with the hook. And some great mortar and pestles. Let me see if I can get down here. These are nice early ones. These are the best ones we've ever had for mortar and pestles. Oh my goodness, that's heavy. Good early bronze for the size of that one. Extremely heavy. And this one back here, look at the rich color and patina on that. Just a wonderful, great big mortar and pestle there. This being the pestle, that being the mortar down there. Okay. Some gorgeous big nautical style lamps. Absolutely beautiful. That one, and then this one over here is my favorite, which is a candle with the reflector. But beautiful big brass bars. Absolutely gorgeous lantern. Gorgeous. And lastly, on this table, we have this beautiful original paint scale. I don't know if you'll be able to see this. This has actually an etched flower basket design on here. It's been all hand done on this brass plate. But I have this. Just beautiful original paint left on this. And you just line up those two. And we have a great set of weights here as well. These are a separate listing, all with their markings on there. But very nice, where they've added lead and whatnot to get the weights accurate. Really interesting early set. Look at that good old color on there and markings. And that's another lot. Now we have a great early brass iron, and this still does have its slug inside there. A little lift up door. But let me pull this out so we can show you. This is definitely the fanciest horse collar I have seen. This looks like something the Budweiser horse should have on him. But this is all brass in here. I don't know if it'll show up in the photographs. You know, brass decoration, all its hooks. All this beautiful work of rivets and studs, and all its chains are there, and more brass over here. Just a gorgeous horse collar. We have the really nice piece. The pram put back in the lower opening reserve. We have a monstrous early burled scoop shovel, if you would. Oh, I'll get this up here where you can see it. Just a huge bowl on it. Oh, let's see if I can set that back down in there. Okay, so a couple of nice scales here. I'm gonna actually unravel those in a minute to show you. Great big early Colchester County shelf with just a really nice surface. Let's hope this picks up. This iron strap running down the center of it, but a really nice primitive shelf there. Okay, now if I stand back here, this will give you an idea of the size, especially of that main painting. Who I think if there's a sleeper in this sale, it's going to be that one, because I cannot quite make out that name, but that is definitely an old painting by a professional artist. I'm going to go right into it. It's huge, but the cattle by the river here, very well done. And I'm just going to go down here so somebody out there might get an idea. Heinrichs, perhaps, I'm not really sure. Just a beautiful, huge work. And up above, we have a nice folky Nova Scotia scene. We have a fabulous etching of a pig farmer by Pilote, who is a well-listed artist. All the etchings in the sale are all artists. You can research them. Their work is well known, and there's a good secondary market for them. And we have 3 paintings by this Spanish artist, whose name I don't want to try to pronounce because I'm sure I'll get it wrong. But we do have it written on there. It's Lorraine or Lorraine, or I just can't quite remember, but they're super well done too. This one with the horses is great. Now this one does have some issue, paint flaking. So certain colors, being the white primarily here, is chipping, and paint is starting to flake. That is the only one though. Here's the other one over here, which is another, again, a beautiful scene, but no chipping on that one. And up above we have another wonderful etching, and I'm just wondering, they're all pencil signed. Go online and get some good detailed pictures and the writings, you'll be able to read them. A little skirmish, Civil War skirmish, and that is probably, yeah, Harper's Weekly newspaper that came out of, and it's all framed up. We have another harbor scene down here, and that one is oil again and on canvas. Babson, Dorothy Babson. Okay. All right, let me get this doll's pram back in order here. Now, I'm not going to unroll them all, but we have a lot of braided rugs. All came out of a fine estate here that we're moving out of the area, and they're all in excellent condition, lots of different color patterns, so please go online and look at those. Now, I really wanted to show you these. These are hooked rugs, Nova Scotia hooked rugs, that are spectacular. The condition is excellent. The patterns are wonderful. Everything is just as you want to see it as a collector. And let me see which side we're looking at. These are both, I'm going to open up the other one in a minute, both registered with the Rug Hooking Guild of Nova Scotia. That's the Heritage Hooking Registry number right there. Even look at the borders. Like, look at this. They're absolutely gorgeous. The colors are bright and vivid. You know, the edges are nice. You have to look pretty hard to see any kind of little area that might have some fraying. You know, a little pull here and there, just a little piece. But all in all, some white ones sticking up there. A little one over here. But all in all, just absolutely beautiful rug. Now I'm just gonna shut this off and unroll the other one. Okay, this one's just slightly longer than the other one. Funny, I thought the other one was the longest, but this one's just a little bit longer, so it's just sort of hanging over the edge. A few loose threads here, but it's just some sort of cataloging number, I guess. Where's the registry one on here? There we go. So, Nova Scotia Rug Hooking Guild. But again, just beautiful work. And you can look these up on the registry too, so you'll see, probably be able to find out who made these. But we really like to get hooked rugs here, but boy, somebody really worked at this one. And to give you an idea, size, that's my glass desk table. These fireplace items as well are going to be in the sale, which I forgot to photograph earlier. So make sure you have a look at these, folks, because as hooked rugs go, these condition wise are just spectacular. Color, absolutely gorgeous, and great patterns. So thanks for watching, everybody. All right, now we'll see the artwork on this side for reference of size. Again, the largest one being a beautiful harbor scene again. I'm trying to keep the glare out of it if I can. Some characters up there on the dock. Early, oil again, and well signed, but impossible for me to make that out, I'm afraid. And this one that's Gonna seem darker than it probably is. Now I'm gonna bring this one over to the light. Natural light, that is, so we can see if we can get a better shot of it. That's not gonna help, maybe. Super well painted again. No signature that we can find, but look at the brass pan and the pottery and the baskets, the candles. I mean, it's absolutely perfect. This old woman praying over her meal. The dog down in the corner there. I mean, it has crazing throughout, nice spinning wheel. Just a really great painting. And this one is on a mahogany panel, and this piece of paper was stuck on the back with a date 1610 to 1675. There's a bit of pencil writing above that is really difficult to make out, so I can't make anything out, but might help in your research. Down here we have an original etching by Kerr Eby, 1927, Cornwall. Quite a well-known artist there as well. We have these interesting hunting pictures which are painted on glass. The back says a reproduction, but I still think these are quite old and a reproduction of something much earlier. So it's done in the old technique, painting on glass, duck hunting scene, and the retrieving dogs. There's a lot of glare. Beautiful bird's eye maple veneered frames. Nice little pair of folky Annapolis Valley paintings, and a self-portrait by Henry Morley etching there. A nice Bartlett print of Fredericton, framed in a sort of a, what would that be, maybe a 12 by 14 frame, smaller image size, maybe 7 by 9 or so. We have a nice Boston scene here, early steel engraving by the looks of it. And we have the Honor the Brave Civil War piece here, 24th Regiment, Massachusetts Volunteers, 1861, Horace A. Watt. A few more paintings down in there. I'm just going to let you see those online. There's a seascape and a nice little watercolor of a farmhouse. Nice little block print here of the Chanticleer and his hens. Signed again, Foist, Joist, not really sure. Okay, and we have a nice Iberville, Farrar, blue flower crock, big old homemade key. This is neat, this 5 kilogram weight. It's almost like you tie your horse to it. It's got some really interesting stampings under there on the lead. Got a nice lot here of keys and locks, and some of these are quite large for skeleton keys. So these would be big old gate keys. The locks are just locks for decoration purposes because there's no matching key with them, but they're still really interesting, and some great old keys here. That's one lot. And this lot is really interesting because this is gates here in Middleton, Nova Scotia. So what this is new old stock. So this came out of the Gates estate, and these 2 boxes have the original bottle in them as well, and these extra bottles on the side are sort of to show you what's in there. But these are Life of Man bitters and the Gates Invigorating Syrup, which took care of just about everything. But great to see in its original boxes, original labels, never had anything in it. That's one lot, just mint condition. We have a nice collection of ginger beer bottles, various ones from Nova Scotia and St. John, New Brunswick over here. But we have the Nova Scotia, the Old English ginger beers, the Staffordshire pitcher of Nelson is back in at a lower opening, and a nice pewter samovar there. Now over here, this is a Georges Braque lithograph, initialed in the plate. It's not initialed anywhere or signed on the print itself, but it is initialed in the plate. I forget the name off the top of my head. Something about a dove. And down here we have, I'm going to have to turn it sideways because I can't turn the camera sideways. Oh, a massive half hull. Oh, I gotta put that down. Okay. All right. This nice, beautifully made half hull with a, it says peace and has a little peace sign. Reminds me of the SS Minnow. It's quite deep, sort of a Chris Craft design. These little anchors are off old rum bottles you used to get a long time ago. Just a really neat, folky piece. Again, quite big. That's a table, so you get a rough idea of size. A couple nice Crocs down here. B&H with the original label, which is hard to find. And this one as well, which is St. John Wilson Murray Company, St. John, New Brunswick, with its label, which is again almost impossible to find those in good shape. And we have a wonderful folky owl. This carved out owl. Interesting piece of folk art. Nice little rag rug here, a little hooked rag rug. Now these are something else. These are snowshoe boots. I've never actually had any of these come in before, but they're for wearing on your snowshoes, and these were made in New Brunswick. You'll find the label. It's inside one of these. But you can go online and find that out. But really neat to see in that kind of condition too. They're superb. We've got a nice Boy Scouts of America backpack. Great logo there. In great shape. And down here we have a couple of the fun guitars. That's sort of a rodeo one. And over here, behind there, we have Roy Rogers. Nice tool lot here. Granny's Tooth Plane. Nice little marking gauge. Really nice Sheffield saw with all the markings along the blade there. Nice piece. A giant wooden vise of sorts. This is a Valley folk artist by the name of Mann, I believe. Mann or Ham. Sorry, Ham. I wasn't familiar with this artist, but apparently you can see quite a bit about them. And Walter's Axe Company, Hull, Quebec. Now this is really neat because that's how they got the axes out. They just simply cut that one wire. So this is the shipping crate that they would have had their axes shipped to them in, axe heads. And it's the only time I've ever seen that one. There's great graphic on that side, good for any Quebec collectors. Okay, and lastly, thanks for watching this far. I've just got a few little things here I'm going to show you. I'm not going to get into all the jewelry and the small pieces of ivory. There's still a lot more things that you can see online, probably better than I can show you here. But there is a few things here I'd just like to show you before you go. And one is this absolutely gorgeous made canoe. This is an Annapolis Valley piece. Gorgeous patina. Absolutely perfect shape. Two little fine paddles to go with it. You know, I know I say this a lot, but this really is probably the nicest little canoe model we've ever had. I think it's really well made. It's got great color, age, Annapolis Valley find. There's this lot of seals, which is interesting. Again, we have some ivory here. This particular one is vegetable ivory, which wouldn't be a problem, but the ivory would be for shipping across borders. So unfortunately, you have to be in Canada to buy this, unless you want us to take that one out. And these are all interesting early seals. So what that was is when they did a letter and they melted wax on it, and they put this and they pushed the wax down, and it usually had their name or something inscribed. These particular ones are just checkers, so they're sort of an anonymous letter, I guess. But anyway, a nice little lot there of seals, early ones. And I wanted to show you this pipe because I was pretty sure you would think that was a lot smaller when you saw it online than it actually is. So that's a hefty, a hefty bowl there on that one. I mean, that is one honking big pipe for the pipe lover in your family. These Bohemian glasses, crystal glasses, these are solid crystal, like really thick. They're not fine. These are thick, nicely painted, beautifully gilt. It's just one of those things. There's a set of 6 fine little gilt florets sort of along the bottom. The quality of these is over the top. It's exceptional. These are extremely good, small little brandy, I guess, glasses. Wine, perhaps. Pretty small drink, though, so I'm assuming more of a brandy. But just really high quality. So I hope they get noticed a little better than I think they would be online. A wonderful Lorenzen vase. Nova Scotia potter, Lorenzen, fully marked, Lance, Nova Scotia. But it's foxes. Let's see if I can find one there. But the foxes almost look like they're made out of flames. But they're all the way around, and it just almost looks like a fire, like you're looking at the flames of a fire, but it forms sort of a fox. This is better than most Lorenzen. Most Lorenzen I get is the toadstools and the mushrooms, and I know people like to collect those, but as a piece of art pottery signed Lorenzen, this is far better. There's a set of 3 really early tiles, and I love these because the images are just hysterical. Just the way they've made these cherubs, like they almost look like fat old men rather than babies. But somebody's attached felt to the back just to protect them. We have a couple little pieces of foam just to protect them now, but they're very comical. But early. I mean, these are 18th century anyway, so good early pieces. Set of 3 in the sale. You know, they'd look good just on plate stands. And lastly, I wanted to show you were these medieval jugs. So all 3 of these came from Cologne or Dusseldorf. I can't remember which one now as I'm speaking, but one or the other. They were an excavation of an old Roman site, but these are actually medieval German. So these are going to date in that 13th to 15th century period. And they were excavated there, but that is common. The old Roman sites were commonly reused by other cultures along the way. So anyway, really neat to have such early pieces. They're all handmade. You know, you can see where they crimped the foot on. You know, various things wrong with them. This one has this is the one I think, has a broken piece that's come out and been re-glued in. But, you know, these are sort of artifacts rather than... you know, a perfect thing. This one has a piece missing out of it. But they're wonky, you know, they were just hand formed. Same with this one. This one has a little hole where it's gone so thin in the body there, it's actually gone through and made a hole. But just really neat things you don't see every day. So we love to get early things here because it's not something you see every day. It's not mass produced. And you know, somebody back in the 13th or you know, in the 1400s, something like that, was probably drinking out of that, and I think that's pretty great. So anyway, I hope you enjoy the sale. It runs till April 1st. That's not a joke. It comes off April 1st at 9 o'clock Nova Scotia time, 8 o'clock Eastern. Starts to soft close as usual. Just watch those soft closes, because if a lot of people bid on the items that you can see in your screen, it adds 3 minutes each time. So items down here, if you were interested in them and nobody bid on them, they might actually run out of time before the ones on your screen do. So just scroll up and down as the auction's going and make sure you're not missing out on something you wanted below. And it's always a good idea to get your bids in before the end of the auction anyway, because of power outs, computers down, anything can happen, you forget. So remember, you can always put in whatever amount you want, and the computer's only going to take what it needs to put you in the lead. So if it's asking for a $25 bid and you put 200 in and walk away, it'll only take the 25 unless somebody else bids you up. So if you have any questions, please give us a call. But do remember, if you have any trouble logging on, to go to our website, find that phone number, give it a call and they'll get you on right away, and you'll never have any trouble after that. So once you're registered once with us, you're good to go forever. Thanks very much for watching, folks. Have a great day.